Personal finance can feel super complicated, right? But it really doesn't have to be. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down the absolute essentials to help you build a clear path towards financial confidence. So let's kick things off with a simple question.
Okay, think about this. What could your daily cup of coffee possibly have in common with your retirement plan? Decades from now? It seems like they're worlds apart, right?
Well, believe it or not, they're both key stops on your personal financial journey. I mean, every single financial decision you make, from that tiny little purchase to your biggest life goals, it all shapes the path you're on.
Okay, so if it's a journey, what does the map even look like? Let's start by getting really clear on what personal finance actually is.
When you boil it all down, it's really about managing your money with a kind of two-part mission. First, you're building a secure financial future. And second, you're making sure your money actually aligns with what you want out of life. And yeah, those two things, they totally work hand in hand.
And that is why this stuff matters so much. Look, good money management isn't just about getting rich for the sake of it. It's about cutting down on that financial anxiety, It's about building a life where you're in the driver's seat, a secure, self-determined life. That's the real prize.
All right, so how do you start taking control? It all begins with one foundational tool, probably the most powerful one in your entire financial toolkit: budgeting.
I want you to think of budgeting like the foundation of a house. Seriously, without it, everything else you try to build is just kind of wobbly, It's the absolute non-negotiable first step. It's what makes sure you're living within your means and gives you a crystal clear picture of where every dollar is going.
So a really popular and super simple way to get started is the 50-30-20 rule. Here's the gist. You take your after-tax income and split it up. 50% goes to your needs, things like housing and bills. 30% is for your wants, hobbies, going out, that kind of fun stuff. And then a really crucial 20% goes straight into savings and investments.
But, and this is super important, you've got to remember this is just a guideline. It's not some rigid, unbreakable law. The whole key is to tailor it to your life. Maybe your savings goal is way higher, or maybe your necessities cost a bit less. You just have to adjust the numbers so they actually work for you and your situation.
Okay, so once you've got your budget down, that 20% slice of the pie, well, that becomes the engine that's going to actively build your future.
Now, this part of your plan really has two sides to it. On one side, you've got your emergency fund. Think of this as your financial safety net for when life, inevitably throws you a curveball. Then, on the other side, you have investing, and that's your growth engine. That's for hitting those big long-term goals. Investing is really how you make your money start working for you. So, for example, buying stocks. That just means you own a tiny piece of a company, and the hope is that it grows in value. Then you have other things, like crypto, which offer different kinds of opportunities and risks. But whatever path you choose, the whole idea is to grow your wealth over time so you can fund those major life milestones.
And all of this brings us to our final and honestly most important point. All these concepts we've talked about, budgeting, saving, investing, they all come together to form your unique financial path. And hey, you don't have to walk this path alone. There are tons of tools out there to help you, from a simple notebook and pen all the way up to fancy digital apps. The best tool is just the one you'll actually use consistently. So find what clicks for you and stick with it.
It's also so important to remember that your plan is not set in stone. Your priorities are going to change. They're going to evolve. I mean, the goals you have in your 20s when you're just gaining independence, they're going to be totally different from your goals in your 40s or when you're getting close to retirement in your 60s. Your financial plan has to adapt right along with you.
And really, that's the main takeaway here. Your financial journey is yours and yours alone. It's like a living, breathing plan that needs regular check-ins and little tweaks to make sure it's still pointing you towards a life you want to live.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. Knowing that your journey is completely unique, what's just one small, manageable step you can take today to move forward on your path? Maybe it's just tracking one expense or reading one article. Whatever it is, starting small is absolutely the key to finishing strong.